Hari Om.
Hari Om, Nana. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Adi, me pumpichin a Microsoft Word document you want me to share today?
Maybe, if possible, yes. Otherwise, tomorrow.
No, it's possible. You just let me know when you want it shared. I will share it.
Okay. Now, you are going to chant the Gita Dhyana slokas?
Gita
Or
Dhyanam.
shall I chant?
Either way, Nana.
Okay.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. You chant?
Okay. You can start, Nana.
Okay. Om. Om. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. My apologies. Yesterday, I forgot to mention the Shanti Pata. I don't know how I missed. I'm so sorry. Now we'll start today with the Gita Dhyanam. Okay?
Yeah.
And afterwards, we'll go to the 13th chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayiniim Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netraha Ena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथचला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी। कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Thank you. अथ श्रीमद् भगवद गीता अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञ विभाग योगः। अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव। श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमिच्च विधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः। क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत। क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् च यद्विकारि यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु। Brahmana, do I wait till you project the slokas, the PDF document, or people
No,
can the chanting?
no, you can continue because it will take some time. There may be a lag period. You continue, Nanda. I'll share it.
Okay. ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेष सुखं दुःखं संघातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम् अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतत् ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत् अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयं ग्रसिष्णु प्रभविष्णु च ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय मद्भावायोपपद्यते प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव विद्यनादिवुभावपि विकारांश्च गुणांश्चैव विद्धि प्रकृति संभवान् कार्यकरणकर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुष सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते पुरुष प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान् कारणं गुणसङ्गोऽस्य सदसद्यो निजन्मसु उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानेऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये साङ्ख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे अन्ये त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः यावत् सञ्जायते किञ्चित् सत्त्वं स्थावरजङ्गमं क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञसंयोगात् तद्विद्धि भरतर्षभा Brahmara, you are able to project the normal PDF for slokas?
This is the normal PDF only. This is the shloka PDF.
Sloka PDF, I don't see any sloka.
You don't
Because
see?
people to
We are
follow.
not seeing anything,
No, we
Dr.
are not
Brahmara.
seeing.
I'm sharing it. I thought. 1 second.
I was only waiting for the PDF to stop chanting.
You mean which shloka PDF? I'm sharing the Sanskrit version. You're not able to see, none of you? Oh, sorry. You can see now?
Yeah, now I can see.
Yes.
Till now,
Oh.
no.
Oh, so sorry. I was thinking on my screen it is showing it is being shared.
Okay.
If you should have told me, I don't know. Sorry.
No problem. Please get back to verse number 1.
Okay. If there is any such thing, no, just either put it in the chat or just unmute and tell me, because I will not have I've not logged in from my mobile. Otherwise, I would have known maybe. Just logged in from the laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have come to the third shatka. Third shatka is the Asi Pada Lakshadhaha. In the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, Tvam we have seen in the first 6 chapters. That is the first shatka. And the Tat is what? Ishvara. The Tat we have covered from chapters 7 through 12. Now, chapters 13 through 18, it is the Lakshyartha of the third pada. Tat Tvam Asi. This Asi pada Lakshyartha is the burden of the third shatka. Earlier, I have mentioned that this Arjuna's question, it does not occur in many books. In some books, some versions of the books, this Arjuna's version exists. This is not numbered here by Swamiji in his coverage of the commentary of the 13th chapter. So be it. So the first sloka starts with Shri Bhagavanu Vacha. Previously, I have mentioned Arjuna has raised questions, and these questions are a set of 3 pairs of questions. 3 pairs of questions. One is Prakritim Purusham, then Kshetram Kshetrajna, then Jnanam Jneyam. Bhagavan will answer all these things in a different style of his own. Earlier I have mentioned the 2 words Kshetram and Kshetrajna were not mentioned in the first 12 chapters. But Kshetra is mentioned in a different way in the first chapter. In 2 compound words, Kshetra is mentioned. Can somebody mention the sloka?
Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre.
Very right. The Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. The Kshetra was mentioned there in the first sloka. Okay. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsavaha, Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva Kemukurvata Sanjaya. Some commentators have given beautiful meanings for the first verse. Dharma Kshetre. Dharma Kshetre. The Kshetra is what? Kshetra is what? As per the 13th chapter, Bhagavan is going to mention in the second verse. That is the first numbered verse. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramicha vidhiyate. Idam shariram. Idam is what? This. This is being pointed out that this means the one which is very near. Maybe Bhagavan has pointed out to his own body or pointed out to Arjuna's body and said, Idam shariram. That means what? This human body. As far as the first verse is concerned, the meaning is this human body. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramicha vidhiyate. That was the intended meaning. But later on, Bhagavan will cover to have the meaning for shariram as the entire jagat. That shariram is the entire jagat. Now, getting back to the first verse of the Gita, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. This Kshetra is the Idam Shariram. And this Idam Shariram is Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. And what are the Dharma Sadhanas? Dharma Artha Kama Moksha. Dharma Artha Kama Moksha. In a number of instances, a lot of people chant the sankalpa in a wrong way, I would say. In the sankalpa, people say dharmartha kama moksha phala purushartha siddhyardham, which is erroneous. A lot of people do this, and a lot of cassettes have got this, and a lot of floppy disks, and a lot of temples. The Purohits also say this, which is to my mind wrong. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Phala Purushartha Siddhyardham is not correct. It is Purushartha Phala Siddhyardham. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Purushartha Phala Siddhyardham. These are the Purusharthas, these four. And those Purusharthas, each one has a phalam. That Purushartha Phala Siddhyardham, that should be the Sankalpa. I don't know how this is being missed. When you say Dharmartha Kama Moksha Phala Purushartha Siddhyardham, that means what? This Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha have got a phala, which is Purushartha. Purushartha is the very basis for the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the Chaturvidha Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Purushartha Phala Siddhyardham. Okay. Now, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Now, Kshetre.
Let me know when you want me to share the document you sent, Nana.
Which one?
You let me know when you want me to share the document you sent.
Okay. Okay. After we are through with the second verse.
Okay.
All right. But if it is going to be difficult for you to project that, you can defer it to tomorrow if you want.
No, it is not difficult at all. It's ready. You just tell me when and I will share.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, Dharma Kshetre. Dharma is what? The Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Purushartha Phala Siddhyardham. Dharma Kshetre. Dharma Kshetre means in your Kshetra, you conform to the Purusharthas. Dharma Yuktena, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Kurukshetre means you do in this Kshetra. Kshetra is what? The Sharira. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Now, the blind fellow, Dhritarashtra asked what? Mamakaha. Mamakaha. Mamakaha means those belonging to me. What belongs to you? Ahankara belongs to you. Mamakara belongs to you. Ragadveshas belong to you. Ichha, Dvesha, etc. All those. These Arishad Vargas are all belonging to you. And all these happen in the mind, isn't it? Mamakaha. Pandavas Chaiva. Pandava. Pandu is indicative of whiteness. And white is symbolic of Sattva Guna. White is symbolic of Sattva Guna. Mamakaha, these Ragadveshas, okay, Arishad Vargas, Ahankara, Mamakara, all these in the mind. And this Sattva Guna Pradhana Pandavas, Sattva Guna Pandavas, they also are in the mind. Kim Apurvata Sanjaya. What did they do? Sanjaya. This is the interpretation given by a number of Mahatmas for the first verse. And that gives credence to the first verse, though coming from a blind fellow, physically blind and mentally even worse. So dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. This first verse indicates another thing. This kshetra, which is the sharira, as per the second verse of this chapter, that is the first numbered verse. Bhagavan says, idam shariram. This idam shariram is this shariram. This shariram. This shariram. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Idam shariram kaunteya. This shariram kaunteya. Shariram has got a tremendous use. Shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. Shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. Because of that dharma kshetre, kurukshetre. Because as long as the sharira is vibrant, you can conform to the purusharthas. When the shariram is non-vibrant, you can't do anything. And moksha, the phala of the mumukshu, purushartha siddhyartham, moksha purushartha siddhyartham, he is striving. And striving where? Idam sharirena, in this sharira. This sharira has got the bhava, the swabhava of disintegration. This will disintegrate. In the second chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan said what? Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhiras tatra namuhyati. This is getting disintegrated. This is changing. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. Jara is the vardhakyam. Jara, then afterwards anya deha praptihi. So this has got the swabhava of disintegration. But before that happens, you must acquire what you have aimed at, that moksha. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramichya vidhiyate etadyo veti tam prahuhu kshetragya iti tadvidaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan said, what? Kaunteya, hey, Pandava, Arjuna, idam shariram, this body, kshetram iti, is said to be the field. Abhidiyate, it is called. Etat yaha veti, the one who knows this, tam, him, tadvidaha, the knowers of that, tatvidaha, prahuhu, they say, kshetrajnaha iti. People who know this, thus are called kshetrajnaha. Kshetrajnam iti idam shariram kaunteya kshetramichya vidhiyate etadyo veti tam prahuhu. Etadyo veti, that means whoever knows that this shariram is the kshetra. Tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Those people are said to be kshetrajnaha. And what is the idea of knowing this body? Knowing this body, anybody looking at me also knows my body. It is not that. Etadyo vetitam prahuhu means the indweller of the body, the one who is the sakshi for the happenings in the body, sakshi for the happenings in the mind and intellect, how ahankara is playing a lot of tricks, how we are getting subdued by mamakara, how we are becoming slaves to ragadveshas, all these things. Etadyo veti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. That person who knows all these things is said to be the kshetrajna. Okay? Next verse. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yat tat jnanam matam mama. Kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi. Hey, that Kshetrajna, who etadyo vetitam prahuhu, Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. In the first numbered verse we have seen, Bhagavan Uvacha, Idam Shariram Kaunteya, Kshetramichhabidhiyate, etadyo veti tam prahuhu, Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. And who is that fellow Kshetrajna? Bhagavan is saying, it is indeed I. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. Understand, I am the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna in what? In all Kshetras. Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. In all the fields of experience, I am the Kshetrajna. Kshetra Kshetrajnayoho Jnanam. This Jnanam related to Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Yet, whatever is there, tat, that Jnanam, iti matam mama. That iti is not there, I've just added. Okay, it is to be understood. Yet, tat Jnanam iti matam mama. That is my vision, that is my viewpoint, that is my opinion. This is what Bhagavan said in the second verse. And this Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. It is considered a Mahavakya. It is considered a Mahavakya because it is giving the Jiveshwarayoho identity. Abheda bhavaha, it is indicative. And any Vakya which is indicative thus is considered a Mahavakya. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yat tat jnanam matam mama. Cha api, and also mam, me, sarva kshetreshu, in all the bodies, kshetrajnam, as the knower of the body. Knower of the body means not by simply looking. It is not the paroksha jnana, not the paroksha view through the eyes. It is completely knowing. Vidhi, may you know, hey Bharata, Arjuna, yat, that which is kshetra kshetrajnayoho, of the body and the knower of the body, jnanam, that is the means of knowledge, jnanam, tat jnanam, that is truly knowledge. Iti matam mama, that is my vision. Hey descendant of Bharata, Arjuna, and also may you know me as the knower of the body in all the bodies. That which is knowledge of the body and the knower of the body is truly knowledge. That which is the knowledge of the body, okay, knowledge of the body and the knower of the body, that is the knowledge of the Kshetrajna, is truly knowledge. Knowledge of the Kshetrajna is what? Knowledge of Paramatma, knowledge of the Kshetra, which is having the swabhava of disintegration, and also the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna sarva kshetreshu, that is truly knowledge. This is my vision.
Nanaji, what is...
Yeah.
Nanaji, could you please tell us what is the means of knowing?
What is the means of knowing? Going through the Gita very scrupulously, Gita very assiduously, studying that, understanding that, and making an effort to being the tenets of the Gita. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Elsewhere, Bhagavan has said what? Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatya vinashyantam yappashyati sapashyati. Whoever sees thus, he only sees. Yappashyati sapashyati. And in the 6th chapter, Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna. Atmaupamyena, with that kind of a simile. Atma upama. Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yojjuna. Sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Atma as a simile. And why the simile? No matter who you see, no matter who you come across, all those people have got what? It's the same Atma that is in you. That is the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetrajnayor jnanam yat tat jnanam matam mama is mentioned. So that Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yojjuna. One who can see the equalness everywhere, in him, in everybody else. That person is very dear to me. Okay? Now, how to gain that is a beautiful question. But it looks like a simple question, but that is the question Vedanta would answer. And Vedanta answers, and parokshena you understand, but aparokshena you must make it your own. That is the only way. That is the only way. There's no other way. Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. For this, for reaching this ayana, the goal to be reached, na anya pantha vidyate. There is no other path. One Rishi has proclaimed, okay, through one Upanishad, Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat Tamevam Vidwan Amrutaiha Bhavati Nanya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. For this journey to come to a fruitful conclusion in Atma Darshana, there is no other way. There is no other way. Because the problem is one of ignorance. And until that is completely rooted out, removed by jnana, there is no way of our knowing ourselves. Unless we know ourselves, there is no Paramatma Darshana. There is no Paramatma separately from us. That is the meaning of the Tattvamasi Mahavakya. That Paramatma, you are seeking, you are doing upasana, you are doing puja, you are doing yajna, yaga, everything. You are striving throughout your life that Paramatma is none other than you. Tat tvam asi. That tat you are striving to reach, indeed it is you. And that is one of knowing. And one of knowing is one of being. And how to be, Gita has given a lot of prescriptions throughout all the chapters. We will have to live those prescriptions. There's no other way. Did I answer you, madam?
Yes, Nanaji. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, I have earlier, in respect of another document which I made some kind of a comparison between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, and some kind of an introduction to this Kshetra, Kshetrajna. If you permit me, I would very slowly read this, and please follow it carefully. And if you want this particular sheet of paper, I would request Dr. Brahmara to send it to you people separately. All right? Now, regarding Kshetra, Kshetrajna, because Bhagavan said, Idam Shariram, this body, in the first verse, we have to provisionally, though, take it as the human body, which is considered to be Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. the Shariram is considered to be the very means for all dharmas to accomplish. As per the Shastra, it is only through the human body that self-realization can be attained. Sorry. This is for whom? Is it not for the indweller of the Kshetra, the very Jiva? This self-realization for the ignorant Jiva is nothing but the rediscovery that the Jiva is indeed the Kshetrajna. And this is possible by proper deployment of the implement, the body, the idam shariram, for accomplishment of the desired objective, the attainment of Kshetrajna. In the second line of the verse, Bhagavan deftly portrays that knower of the Kshetram is Kshetrajna. Thus say the Tattvavidaha. He said that. Tattvavidaha. Thus say, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidya sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam ettat jnanam matam mama. Before that, what did he say? Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramichya vidhiyate etadyo veti. This whoever knows, tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Didn't he say that? So tadvidaha. This tadvidaha may have, in my opinion, kind of two words, two meanings. One meaning would be, where is that? Yeah, it's gone. Tadvidaha. One meaning would be, in this context, the knowers of Kshetram, and another meaning perhaps can be the knowers of Sat, the Tat. Tat is what? Tatvidaha. Vidaha means knower. Knower of what? Tat. Knower of Tat. Knower of Kshetra or knower of Tat. Tat is what? Sat eva. Sat is what? Trikala bhatita vastu. And what is that? That is indeed Paramatma. Trikala bhatita vastu. Satchitananda. This in the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. In the Mahavakya Tattvamasi, the Tat is perhaps this. Bhagavan through verses 13.5 and 13.6, which we are going to cover shortly, maybe tomorrow. 13.5 and 13 is the chapter number. That is the Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, which we are going through now. 13, 5th verse and 6th verse elaborates the constituents of Kshetram, and all of which are the products of Maya or Prakriti, and as such, Mithya. All these are Mithya. Anything which is an effect of Maya, which itself is Mithya, the effect of Mithya becomes Mithya. The above two verses lead us to the meaning of Idam Shariram, the microcosm. Idam Shariram is the Pinda, is it not? And what is Brahmanda? Brahmanda is Idam Jagat. This is the Pinda, okay? The above two verses lead us to the meaning of Idam Shariram, the microcosm, as indeed Idam Jagat. Which two verses? This 13.5 and 6. 13.5 and 6. For the sake of completeness, I think I will chant them right away here so that you will understand. Verse number 5 of 13th chapter says, Mahabhutani ahankaraha buddhihi avyaktameva cha indriyani dasha ekam cha. Dasha ekam cha means 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas. Ekam is the manaha. Okay, indriyani dasha ekam cha panchacha indriya gocharaha ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghatas chetana dhrutihi etat kshetram samasena savikaram udahrutam. When you consider these two verses, then Brahmara, you get back to the earlier PDF. Yeah, correct. Thank you. The above two verses means this 13, 5 and 6 lead us to the meaning of idam shariram, the microcosm, as indeed idam jagat, the macrocosm, or the entire universe, which includes the bodies of you, I, and all other bodies too. These bodies need not have life, like the mountains, like the rivers, like the rocks, like anything, the Panchamahabhutas, etc. Essentially, there are only three things. What are those three things? Aham, idam, and Ishvaraha. The three things are, I lost. Essentially three things. Namely, idam, jiva, that idam is Jiva. Idam Shariram was mentioned by Bhagavan, no? Idam, the Jiva, and Ishvara. Okay? Or Idam Jagat. Okay? Tvam is the Jiva, Tat is the Ishvara. Thus, the three things can be said to be Jagat, Jiva, Ishvara. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Or simply Jagat, Tvam. Jagat is what? Mithya. Tvam or Tat. These are the three, Jagat, Tvam, and Tat. But as per the Shastra and the Gita, Jagat is Mithya. Further, the Gita, especially the third Shatka we have started today, teaches the identity of Tvam and Tat. For example, verses 7:18 and 13:2. 7:18 is what? The seventh chapter, that is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. That 7:18, what it says is, Udara Sarvayevaite, after Bhagavan has said, Chaturvidha Bhajante Mam, you just try to recollect what we have learned in the seventh chapter. Okay? After earlier, a few weeks back. Udara Sarvayevaite, Jnani tu Atmayeva te me matam, Astita Sahiyuktatma, Mamevanuttamam gatim. What did Bhagavan say? Though all these four bhaktas are udaraha, noble, understand that Jnani tu Atmayeva me matam. Jnani is indeed I. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata was indicated by Bhagavan in the seventh chapter of the Gita itself. And the other chapter I have mentioned is what? 13.2. 13.2 is what we are covering now. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Okay. So, thus, if we dismiss idam jagat, which includes our shariram, idam jagat, the shariram is also part of jagat, isn't it? This is the mistake we generally do. We negate the jagat as mithya, but we keep this body, idam shariram, and not negating that. Unless we do that, include the shariram also as part of the jagat, the negation is not complete. So if we consider in this idam jagat and negate it because it is mithya and equate tvam with tat, then we will be left with only the jiva, who is none other than Ishvara. In the three things here, jiva, jagat, and Ishvara, if jagat is negated because it is mithya, jiva becomes Ishvara. Jiva becomes Ishvara. Tat tvam asi, process of neti bhavana, not this sequence of negating what all we are not, properly thinking and assimilating such knowledge would help understanding who we really are And this indeed is the propellant for self-inquiry. That seems to be the import of the next verse, which has the Mahavakya, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In this verse, Bhagavan mentioned two very important things. He is the Kshetrajna, the knower of the Kshetra, in all the Kshetras. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. That is in the first line of the verse. In the second line of the verse, what did he say? Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yat tat jnanam matam mama. The knowledge of kshetra and kshetrajna is indeed jnanam. Is indeed jnanam. And Arjuna has raised a question saying, Prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajnameva cha etat veditum ichchami jnanam jneyam cha keshava. He did not hide anything from questioning. He has had a doubt regarding three pairs of things: Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetram, Kshetrajna, and Jnanam, Jneyam. The Kshetras may be the human bodies, the animal bodies, the bodies of all other species, mountains, rivers, oceans, the space, the air, the fire, these Panchamahabhutas, the earth, or even the earth-like other heavenly bodies and planets, the suns and stars and galaxies, in fact, anything that is visible, cognizable, or even vaguely imaginable. All the kshetras are mithya, and as such are dependent, like even the dream depends on the dreamer, and as such negatable. Whereas the kshetrajna, the knower of the kshetras, is independent, and though obtaining in all the kshetras, is one, which is the truth. The kshetras are perishable, while the kshetrajna is unborn, ancient, beginningless, and everlasting. The verses in the second chapter, 16 through 25. This 16, I suppose, is saying, Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate sataha ubhayorapi drushtontaha tvanayos tattvadarshibhihi. 25 may be saying, Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidhananyeva tatraka paridevana. Maybe I could be wrong in the 25th verse, the way I read it out. But these from second chapter, 16th verse through the 25th verse, all these things are covered. Unborn, ancient, beginningless, and everlasting. One way of getting rooted in this knowledge is to compare and contrast kshetra and kshetrajna. Madam, you had asked how to get there, how to get the identity of Jiva and Ishvara. That is what I am saying here. One way of getting rooted in this knowledge is to compare and contrast kshetra and kshetrajna all the time, assimilate such knowledge, and contemplate on the import of the teaching. Okay? The teaching by Bhagavan is like this. Kshetra on the left side, kshetrajna on the right side. The kshetra is what? The kshetras are many and varied. Kshetras, your kshetra, my kshetra, somebody else's kshetra. These are many, many and varied. Kshetrajna is. Huh?
Thank you. I was just doing the same thing in my notebook, and you've
Okay.
done it on the thing.
Very good, very good. That's a very good start, and that should be continued day in and day out, because this Shravanam, it should not be just a one-time Shravanam. Paunena Shravanam kuryat. Again and again and again, you will have to listen to this. And when you are alone, how will you listen to this? By reading the Mahavakyas contained in the Gita. Kshetras are many and varied, whereas Kshetrajna is one and invariable. Kshetras are mithya. Kshetrajna is sat. It is the only thing that is Sat. Kshetras are apparent and dependent. Apparent means what? Swakale satyavad bhati, prabodhe sati asat bhavet. That we have picked up in the Atma Bodha. And this is dependent. This kshetra is dependent. This is dependent on what? Maya, which itself is dependent on this Sat. So apparent and dependent, whereas kshetrajna is real and independent. Kshetras are perishable. This is imperishable. This is imperishable. Na jayate, namriyate va kadachit, na ayam bhutva bhavita va anabhuyaha, ajaha nityaha shashvataha, puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Hanyamane sharire, even if the sharira, which is here, kshetra, is destroyed, perishable, this remains imperishable. And kshetra is born as both beginning and end. Okay? Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityuhu, dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. Okay? That is the way of kshetra, whereas kshetrajna is unborn, beginningless, and everlasting. Kshetras have unique qualities and are various. Unique qualities because of what? The bundle of raga dveshas and the different types of dirty minds each one of us carry. It is because of that the kshetras are unique and these are various, like here varied. And kshetrajna is qualityless and the one in all kshetras. This is destructible, like perishable here, and this is indestructible. Kshetra is jadam, inert, and no cognition of own existence. This jadam, inert applies to such of those things which are stavaram. So many things which are stavaram, which are not jangamam, which are not having any movement, they are all jadam, inert, and they do not know. A mountain doesn't know that it is mountain. No cognition of own existence. Whereas we may know that I am speaking through my body, and Shastra tells me I am not just the body, I am kshetrajna. So these kind of empirical inputs I have got parokshena, I have got that. These stavaram kshetras, they don't even have that benefit. Jadam, inert, and no cognition of own existence. And kshetrajna is chaitanyam, the witness, the sarvasakshi, and awareness. It is consciousness. The ninth point, always changing and agitated. This is always agitated, always changing, changeless and shantam. How do you know it is agitated? Arjuna himself has qualified that. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramadhi balavadrudam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Then the 10th point. This is parichinnaha. Parichinnaha means what? This is limited in space and time. Parichinnaha, it is limited. It is small. It is only in that 5 feet, few inches height form, parichinnaha, and it will last as long as the prana keeps on vibrating in this frame, parichinnaha. And in time wise also it is parichinnaha. It may not be there tomorrow. As I am talking to you, I may call it a day now. Parichinnaha. It is limited in time. Kshetrajna aparichinnaha, all pervading and limitless. Kshetra is the object. It is the one which is illumined. This object is illumined. This kshetrajna is the very subject, the very illuminator of all kshetras. This fellow is a samsari, this kshetra, and this fellow is witness of the very samsaram. And Kshetra is kinchignaha. Jna is what? The one of knowing. Kinchignaha, very little knowing. It is an ajnani, ignorant fellow. Sarvajnaha, all knowing. Jnani, omniscient. There is nothing that is not known to Kshetrajna. That is nothing that is not known to Kshetrajna. And the list can be endless. Like Kshetrajna is the very Jagat Karanam. He is the very Jagat Karanam. Whereas this Kshetra is Karanam for what? For your Janana Marana Pravaha. You are as though the Karanam. And the list can be endless. The knowledge that helps make the clear, unambiguous, and doubtless distinction between the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna, and also the knowledge that helps root one in the Kshetrajna is considered to be Jnanam. It is considered to be Jnanam. Bhagavan is going to mention this in the same chapter. Is considered to be Jnanam. Because I made this as part of Brahmana, I have sent you the 42 verses of Bhagavan Ramana.
Yes, Nana.
This is part of that.
Mm.
This is part of that. Only thing is, wherever in that text, whatever asat was there, I have changed it to mithya, which is very well known to all of us. That's all the difference I have made. So that is part of that. If any of our friends require this particular sheet, this PDF, you kindly send it to them. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll continue tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om, Nana. Thank you.
Nana, I have a question before you leave.
Pardon?
I have a question for the Manana.
Okay.
We just want your guidance because
Okay.
we finished chapter 2 of the PDF, Swamiji's teachings, and then we visited Atma Bodh. Then we had kind of begun chapter 3. We just started the first shloka, but then you were doing chapter 12 at that point. So why don't we just fall in sync with what we're doing in the Gita class? So we went to chapter 12. Now we have barely completed, I think, the first or the second or third shloka in the chapter 12. Now, I want to ask your advice for the sake of all of us in the Manana group. What do we do? Do we stick to that, or do we come to the chapter 13 because we are not able to keep up pace with finishing at the rate at which you're completing the chapters? But we left all these little unfinished. Although every chapter in the Gita is beautiful, we can do Manana. But what will be the most ideal for us as a group so that we benefit most is my question for you.
Okay.
Your advice, please.
Chapter 12, in which sloka you are?
I think
Third
we are.
sloka.
No, we're still in the second. We're doing the difference between Saguno, what is Nirguna Brahma, what is Saguna Brahma Upasana. That is the one. We're in that.
I would suggest you continue the 12th chapter.
Okay.
Because you have got some kind of a clarity on Nirgunopasana, Sagunopasana, the two types of bhaktas, and the essence of Arjuna's question, and the essence how Bhagavan has answered, and how it becomes difficult to do Nirgunopasana. Nirgunopasana you have to do with the mind which is not used to verbalizing or objectifying anything which does not have a form and which does not conform to the kshetra. Mind is not used to. So that kind of a mind, how does it think of the nirguna? It becomes all these things will be, you are getting some clarity on that. You please continue the 12th chapter.
Fine.
Afterwards, you fall back on the 3rd chapter. You were as though midway through the 3rd chapter and came on to the 12th.
Correct.
You continue the 3rd chapter onwards up to the 12th. Then complete the 12th later. But you continue doing what you are doing now.
Okay.
I would suggest the 12th chapter, before you come to that Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, there are some verses up to the 12th or 13th verse. You continue the Bhakti Yoga, then fall back on the 3rd chapter, the Gita, Karma Yoga, and continue 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, then come back to 12th chapter, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, which are the Jnani's Lakshanas. You continue with that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank
Right.
you.
Hari.